All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Al Shah, by Shem Rakago Dash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, this lesson is going to go into the truth of Islam. This religion, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the second biggest religion in the world, is a big religion of lies, man. Lies, deception. You know, when you go into the origins of Islam, it's basically a gangster religion, you know, of murderers, you know, and it's nothing but trickery and sorcery all throughout this religion that a lot of people embrace, you know, and its origins started extremely pagan, and you have in today's time, 2020, you see a lot of Negroes, you know, mainly in prisons and you know, different parts, you know, of the world. They hold this religion very strongly. You know, they hold it and they embrace it tightly, but they never really truly do their homework to see the true origins. You know, the scriptures speak about, you know, to study, you know, to show thyself approved, which, you know, the religion of Islam, they don't you know, fully embrace the Bible. You know, they have the Quran, which the word Quran goes into the word Qur'an, which means to read. You know, if I'm not mistaken, recite or chant. You know, but when you thoroughly do your homework on this religion, everything you once thought you knew, and that mainly you Muslims, you see it's a big fallacy. So, you know, without further ado, you know, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Al Shah, I'm gonna go into it. But it says, this is on the Bible.ca, and it's under Hubal, the moon god of the Kaaba. It says, what is quite certain is that the pagan Arabs in Mecca worship the moon god called Hubal at the Kaaba. Hubal was the lord of the Kaaba, being the highest ranked god of the 360 gods worshipped in the Kaaba. Yeah, and this is pre-Muhammad. When you really go into the true god of Mecca, you know, really truly Allah, that they worship is really this god Hubal. And if you you know, want to do your homework, you can actually look up Hubal on Google, and you'll see images of that moon god Hubal, which, Lord willing, I could just pull it up. Hubal. Yeah, matter of fact, I just pull it up just for edification. And you see the crescent moon with this god. These are different, you know, plaques, and like it says, pre-Islamic Arabia. This is the god that's truly worshipped, which really it goes back to the chief idol. Like it says, Hubal, the chief idol of Mecca, is linked to Baal, also known as Tammuz. And it says the moon god from all four sides. Note the crescent moon carved on his chest, and you see that was the image of Baal. So the Arabs really are worshiping the same God. You know, a lot of, you know, when you go into Greek and Roman gods, all of them really go back to either Baal or Nimrod, you know, because that's really one of the true origins of, you know, idolism. You know, Tammuz and Semiramis, you know, whether it's Easter, you know, and Christmas, a lot of these religions, it really goes back to Hubal. And like I said, it's a lot of images that show this god Hubal, and this is pre-Islamic Arabia. You know, this is before Muhammad actually jumped on the scene. This is the most purest origins of the worships of the Arabs, which was the pagan god Hubal. It says Hubal was the lord of the Kaaba, being the highest ranked god of the 360 gods worshipped in the Kaaba. So they had 360 gods that they worship in the Kaaba, because that is nothing more than an idol religion. Now, it says, now here is the amazing thing. Allah was also worshipped as the Lord of the Kaaba, yet Allah was never represented by any idol of physical nature. To suggest the polytheistic Arabs never created an idol to represent Allah is simply unreasonable and unbelievable. We suggest rather that Hubal was who the pagan Arabs addressed their prayers to Allah through. You see, so when they addressed their prayers to Allah through, it was really to this god Hubal. So it says, in other words, Allah was Hubal, Muhammad came along and smashed the idol of Hubal, and now the Arabs had no idol of Allah to pray through anymore, and Hubal was forgotten. There are stories in the surah of pagan Meccan praying to Allah while standing beside the image of Hubal. Muhammad Mecca with Montgomery Watt, Chapter 3, Religion in Pre-Islamic Arabia. We suggest that Arabs stood beside Hubal and prayed to him, referring to him as Allah. And that's on point. That's spot on. And if you go to majority of Arabs, if I would say, if I would give a number, maybe 95% of Arabs don't know who the hell Hubal is, man. You know, they have no idea who Hubal is. They really don't have a full understanding of, you know, Muhammad and his true origins and how this religion of Islam actually came about. You know, it's just like every other organization or religion that, you know, people are a part of. You know, they just blindly follow. Somebody puts them on, and then they see the you know, the level of, you know, togetherness that organizations bring, and they see the cloth and the you know, the accordance, but they never really want to. They never really get into the text and say, like, damn, is this actually the truth, or am I being blindly followed? You know, they never really go in depths, because, you know, if they really do their homework, they're gonna see that it's all bullshit. And if they were to tell, which, like I said, this is maybe the most gangster religion of all time. If these, you know, if you're an Arab and you actually know the truth of Islam, if you're into the religion of Islam, and you actually know the truth of the religion of Islam and go into it and tell others that Islam is a false religion, they might put you to death on the spot. I was just now reading an article where this guy was speaking about how he had a Kaaba stone in his house, and it was basically a replica of the Kaaba, and he got charged for that, and he was immediately put to death, because the Arabs don't have the same, you know, statutes and you know, laws like America. You know, if you know, so-called blaspheme, you know, their religion, which this is really blasphemy of the Holy Spirit at the end of the day, because it's a false religion. But if you blaspheme their religion, then they'll kill you, man. And if the government doesn't get their hands on you, then the Arabs, you know, the Islamic extremists, you know, will do so. You know, they'll go in your house, they'll tie you up, they might beat you and torture you to death, you know, and your kids. But, you know, it's so much on this article. I really would love to actually, you know, comb through the full you know, total article, but like I said, there's so much to it, and I did want to go into other points, and that was really the main point, to really show this guy Hubal. And I want to kind of go through the different aspects of what makes Islam, the religion of Islam, dealing mainly with this guy also Muhammad, which they embrace this guy as a prophet, and there's no prophecies in the Quran. All right, I challenge each and every Arab to you know, whether you're a low grade Arab or you're a high you know, Arab or a Negro in the religion of Islam, you know, to put on a comment section a prophecy that Muhammad declared that came to pass, or any prophecy, you know, because this is a plagiarized religion. They took context from the Bible, and they really you know, switched it up. You know, if you go into the Quran, you can see a lot of similar text to the Bible, but it has a lot of things that were you know, redirected and changed up, you know, which makes this you know, basically a false religion, you know. And really all Quran should be burned up, man. You know, that's a you know, like I said, the whole religion is BS, man. But this, going back to this guy Muhammad, Muhammad was you know, the founder of the, you know, Islam. And when you go into this guy, you know, he came from the Quraysh tribe, and he warred with the original Arabs that worshipped Hubal. You know, the original Arabs did not like this guy Muhammad and the practices that he pursued. You know, and Muhammad didn't like the pre-Islamic Arabs likewise. You know, he ran a lot of them off. He kicked a lot of them out of the country. You know,
and a lot of them got killed. And this is the military career of Muhammad, because he was a bloody individual. He put people to death and made people forcefully submit to this religion, in the Arab lands, and they pushed throughout Africa, and they pushed throughout coast to coast, and you see the dominance that Islam has in today's time. But I'm going to continue on. It says, the military career of Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, lasted for the final 10 years of his life from 622 to 632. After he and his small fellowship were pushed out of the holy trading town of Mecca, controlled by the powerful Quraysh tribe, he started intercepting Mecca caravans. So yeah, he was going and hitting those caravans up. After his victory in a pitched battle at Badr in 623, his power grew increasingly, and he began to subjugate other tribes through either diplomacy or conquest. Right, so when he would go through other tribes, he would basically make them. It was forced upon those different Arabs, and a lot of them died, in the name of worshiping Hubal, but some of them complied. Most of them really complied, and they converted to Islam forcefully. In 630, he finally accomplished his long-term goal of conquering Mecca and the Kaaba. So that was the main goal. And in 630, the Most High didn't grant him the Mecca. You see, it was a goal for him to subjugate, kill, and destroy the original inhabitants of, the Mecca. And you see how he took over the Kaaba. But it says by his death in 632, Muhammad had managed to unite most of the Arabian Peninsula, laying the foundation for the subsequent Islamic expansion. Yeah, and you could go into this. Like I said, I'm not going to go into through each and every point, because it's so much when you're dealing with this religion. It's hundreds of years. I really just wanted to, stab home the points of this religion. But, to put it in a summary, even when you go into the origins of this guy, Muhammad, he comes from the Quraysh tribe. And the reason why Muhammad became so great is because of Khadijah. Khadijah was filthy rich. She might have been one of the richest, if not the richest, woman in Arabia. In that land, in that land at that time, and she financed Muhammad's career. Muhammad was a pretty he came from a pretty powerful tribe, like I said, the Quraysh tribe, and even when you go into it, the family and the clans, that Muhammad belonged to was, the top family and clan of that region, and he eventually met Khadijah, and him and Khadijah had which he worked for Khadijah, it is arguably stated, whether they got married, and it said they was working together, but he was really working under Khadijah, and she helped finance a major part of Muhammad's career in the conquest or the dominance of this religion, and everything about this religion is a lie. Like I said, even when you go into it, it says that the angel Gabriel came to him, on a flying horse. It says the Pegasus, and he received his revelations of Islam. This guy was a damn false prophet, man. And like I said, a lot of you jakes, you follow this garbage. But I want to go to another article. Like I said, brothers could read these, because I wanted to hit point for point with these. And this is the origins of the Kaaba. Like I said, it really goes back to Hubal. But Kaaba is cube, also referred to as Al-Kaaba Musharafa, also spelled Kaaba, is a building at the center of Islam's most important mosque, the Great Mosque of Mecca, the sacred mosque in the Hejaz city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia. It is the most sacred site of Islam. It is considered by Muslims to be the Bayat Allah, which is the house of the Most High. Its location determined the Qibla direction of prayer. Where they are in the world, Muslims are expected to face the Kaaba when performing Salah, the Islamic prayer. And I want to hit the history of this Kaaba, and it's here. It's plain as day. It's not. You don't have to get into no deep extremely deep research to figure this stuff out. It really goes into how this was really just a house of idols in its origin. But it says the Quran contains several verses regarding the origin of the Kaaba. It states that the Kaaba was the first house of worship, and that it was built by Ibrahim and Ismail on Allah's instruction. Yeah, and this article just really goes into the origins, but the next article, I think that's the one that goes into really how it was an idol's house. And they said it was built by Abraham and Ishmael on Allah's instruction, and that's bullshit. I'm gonna say it's plain as day. When you go into the book of Genesis, there's no text that speaks about Abraham and Ishmael building any type of house of worship, especially this house of the Kaaba. Basically Ishmael, when you go into it, he got banished, Hagar, and that's prophecy, because what it scripture speak about, and Isaac shall thou see be called, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All throughout the Bible, it's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You never see Abraham, Ishmael, and the sons of Ishmael. Ishmael got his blessing. It said that he's going to have 12 princes, but it never said that Ishmael was a chosen. When you read the Galatians, Paul goes in depth to show how really that was spiritual, for Ishmael to be cast out, because what it said that Jerusalem is the mother of us all, not not Mecca, man. You don't hear about Mecca in the Bible. That's why when when Muhammad came on the scene, he remixed a lot of the things in the Bible. He which it shows you he was an avid reader of the Bible, and he studied the Bible, and he switched a lot of things to fit in text to make his religion the dominant religion at that time. But that's the main thing I really wanted to go into. I wanted to read this last part right here. It says, a Hadath in Sihah al-Bukhari states that the Kaaba was the first mosque on earth, and the second mosque was the temple in Jerusalem. You see how wicked this religion is? They always put the Bible in the back burner. They make it seem like the Bible is secondhand, and the Most High really wasn't dealing with Israel as a first-hand, as a first-hand house. Ishmael was the first house, and Jacob's house, where Jacob's name was changed to Israel, was the house behind Ishmael. But it says, while Abraham was building the Kaaba, an angel brought to him the black stone, which he placed in the eastern corner of the structure. Where the hell is that in the scriptures? Where Abraham was first off building a Kaaba, and an angel brought him some damn black stone, which that's idol worship. There's nowhere in the scriptures the Lord dropped off a stone to worship. No object gets you closer to the Most High. The only things that we received from the Most High was holy from above, not no damn, which they say that this came from a meteorite. They say a broken off asteroid or a meteorite. There's nowhere in the scriptures, that the Lord put, because if you match precept upon precept. If the Lord did it once, he would have did it twice in the Bible. There's nothing that fell from the heavens and Jake took it and worshiped it. Really, that's violation of the law. The Lord told you not to bow down and worship idols, man. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get that and I'm gonna go back to this. This is Deuteronomy 4:19. It says, well, I'll jump up a little bit. Deuteronomy 4:14. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whither you go over to possess it. And when Israel was getting the law, statutes, and commandments, what was the land that they was going to possess? The land of Israel. All right, not the Mecca, man. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, such as the Kaaba. The Kaaba is a graven image. Even when you go into it, it says that the Kaaba was broken up multiple times, and that's why you see that silver protection over the Kaaba. And furthermore, in the law, when stones are broken, you know, you don't deal with altars that's broken. You know, anything that's broken or destroyed, you know, the Lord is not dealing with it. But what do you had? You had these Arabs that got and restructured that broken Kaaba, and they put it back together, and you see these dumbass Arabs and also these dumb Negroes, Latinos. You know, it's even Latins and Native Americans that's in this religion of Islam that bow and worship this. It says the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. Yeah, and all these go into idol worship. And there's an idol for each and every one of them. For prime example, the fish god, Dagon. Dagon goes back to the Hebrew dog, which means fish. You know, you have beasts of the earth that are worshipped. Monkeys, lions, elephants, all throughout different coasts, these animals are worshipped. So it says, unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy power hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. Yeah, so the Lord said, don't worship the heavens. Don't even worship the sun and the moon or the stars. And if you really want to get into comparisons, the sun, the moon, and the stars have way more impact than a damn asteroid that fell from the earth, man. You know, the sun possesses, the light and the oil from the sun, gives you vitamin D. It actually is why plants and everything thrives on the earth. The moon plays a major part on the spirits of men. You know, the Lord said he gave us the moon to be a sign for times and things of that nature. You know, and what it said, he created the stars also. But it never said that he was to have asteroids, which an asteroid is just a broken up rock that's just lingering all throughout the earth. I mean, the heavens. You know, asteroids and meteorites, and they fall on the earth from time to time. But guess what? You have heathens that take these objects and they believe that it was sent down from the Heavenly Father, and they bow down to it as God's gift. When the Lord, is not dealing, and his spirit is not preserved through no damn stone or no asteroid, man. The Lord said he doesn't even deal in temples made with hands. So even this Kaaba stone that's established in Mecca, which that place is a temple, the Lord's not dealing with that, man. And if, like I said, if these which this gangsta ass religion, if these Muslims were to hear this, and knew exactly who I was and where I stayed, they probably try to put me to death for putting this truth out. Starting off with the apostles and elders for putting this type of truth out. But when you come against this truth, come against their type of truth, they don't just fight spirit with spirit and really go into the true context. They want to kill you, man, because they have no facts, man. They have no leg to stand on when you bring it out, man. But what does the scripture says? We have to cast down these strongholds. This is something that holds strongs on the minds of our people. Muhammad, Islam, the Quran, the Kaaba, Mecca, and you have millions of people that migrated to Mecca, spending millions upon millions, if not billions of dollars, to keep that religion upheld. So I want to go a little bit to this next article. As a matter of fact, I want to just read this little bit on this last part, but it says Hubal was only venerated by Quraysh, and the Kaaba was first dedicated to Allah, a supreme god of individuals belonging to different tribes, while the pantheon of the gods of the Quraysh was installed in Kaaba after they conquered Mecca a century before Muhammad's time. So there was over 100 years before Muhammad's time that this god was established. So what's the true origins? Is it truly the Quran, or is it this? This predates Muhammad. You know, this is the origins. This is the true originality. You know, and like I said, Muhammad was nothing but a plagiarizer. So I want to read a little bit on this Black Stone of the Mecca. It says, in Islam, Muslims visit it on Hajj, the pilgrimage to the Kaaba chamber in a mosque. It says the Black Stone of Mecca is a crystal stone that Muslims believe came from heaven to earth through Archangel Gabriel. And the Archangel Gabriel, when you go into it, his name is Gabar Allah, Gabriel, Gabar Ya Allah, which is the warrior of the Most High, or the, you know, or the power. Power is war. You know, sometimes Hebrew is reversed, but really the power is a warrior. The power of war, or the warrior power. All right, Gabar. If I'm not mistaken, goes into warrior. Gabar Ya Allah. All right. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna you know, just spell check, so to speak, through the spirit. And I really wanted to bring out a point on that with Gabar Ya Allah. I really wanted to bring a point on why I said that, which is it's warrior of the Most High. It's warrior of the Most High. But he's a warrior. He's the warrior angel. His job is not to bring crystal stones from heaven for people to worship. You know, that's not the job of Gabar Ya Allah or Gabriel. It says, it is the centerpiece of a sacred ritual called Tawaf that many pilgrims perform on Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, a pilgrimage that Islam requires its faithful to make at least once in their lifetimes, if at all possible. The stone is located inside the Kaaba, a chamber in the center of the Masjid al-Haram Mosque. And I want to go to this one part. It says, Muslims believe that the first human beings, Adam, originally received the black stone from God and used it as part of an altar for worship. That's nowhere in the Bible. You know, you can't find that anywhere in the scriptures, man, where Adam received some damn stone, you know, to worship. It says, then Muslims say the stone was hidden for many years on a mountain until Gabriel, the archangel of revelation, brought it to the prophet Abraham to use in another altar, the altar where God tested Abraham's faith by calling him to sacrifice his son Ishmael. Now, is that in the scriptures? When the Lord told, matter of fact, I'm gonna get that. When the Lord told Abraham to sacrifice his son, was it Ishmael? If I'm not mistaken, Ishmael been cast out of the house, man. We get that in Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 and 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried or tested, offered up Isaac. Offered up Isaac. Offered up Isaac. Not Ishmael. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son. See, so these Arabs want to put their lives in the Bible, or in the true context, you know, to make it seem like the chosen comes out of Ishmael. And the Ishmaelites are the Arabs. So really, you Negroes that even are into Islam, you're really saying that Arabs are the chosen people of the Most High. You know, because if you ask those Arabs, they would say that you really come out of Ham, man. Continue on. It says, which they in the context, I think which Apostle Hall was going into, they referred to Mizraim, which is the Egyptians, as Muzra. You know, so they know who the original Egyptians were, you know, which were dark-skinned people. But they say that you know, you come from Muzra, or you come from Ham, you know, or the different sons of the Africans. But they come from the chosen stock. It says, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Right, and you can't set up a religion and say, yeah, we the second best. So when Muhammad got into power, you know, he started through conquering death and bloodshed. He said, we gotta make ourselves the number one religion, man.
which it was all political. We have to make sure that we're the top tier religion on earth. So let's rewrite and let's change up a lot of things in the Bible, and let's make ourselves the chosen. So it says, accounting that the Most High was able to raise him up, even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Isaac, which is Yatazak in the Hebrew, which is laughter. The Lord embraced Isaac, and that was Abraham's, favorite son. You had Abraham and Sarah, which had Isaac, which the angel, and Sarah was barren. She didn't believe she was going to have a son. That's why Isaac means laughter, because he basically told him that he was going to, have a son. Through Isaac shall thy seed be called. And she thought it was, basically it was humorous because she was up in age. When a woman is up in age, she basically goes through menopause and she doesn't, conceive as she would in her youthfulness. So, Sarah thought it was humorous, but she actually had Isaac, and Isaac blessed his son Jacob. Jacob blessed the 12 tribes, which the 12 patriarchs are where you have the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel in today's time. It says, and the Ishmaelites are nowhere, blessed in the, really blessed to inherit the kingdom of heaven and all these different blessings. The scripture says, even the Lord gave that to Abraham, blessed are all they that blesseth thee, and cursed are all they that curseth thee. The blessings didn't come to Ishmael. Like I said, he got his particular blessing, just like Esau. Most nations got a blessing, but it wasn't to be the chief house. So it says in Esau concerning things to come. So going back, so it says Abraham laid his son Isaac on the altar. Muslims believe that it was Abraham's son Ishmael instead, because Muslims are foolish, man. I ain't gonna say what I really wanted to say, but that's a foolish people, and you Negroes, shame on you for following this nonsense. Oh yeah, I wanted to go into this, but it says, what kind of stone is it? Since the stone's caretakers haven't allowed any scientific test to be performed in the stone, and that tells you it itself. The caretakers of the stone, they're not even going to allow anybody to test to see the truth of the stone, because what if scientists really do their take the data from that stone and really go into the origins, they're going to see that it's all bullshit, and they're going to expose it. And what? That's going to crash the whole system of Islam. So the caretakers of the stone, they want to keep that lie going. If they knew it was the truth, they'd be like, hell yeah, let's go into the origin of the stone. It's going to actually add to the truth. It's going to show when Gabriel actually came down, the exact time, when Gabriel actually had the stone, But they don't want to, because it's going to expose them. People can only speculate on what type of stone it is, and several popular theories exist. One says that the stone is a meteorite. Other theories propose that the stone is basalt, agate, or obsidian. And you have these stones all over the earth, man. So what makes this stone so holy? And it says, turn from white to black by sin. The black stone was originally white, but turned black from being in a fallen world where it absorbed the effects of humanity's sins. Muslim tradition says, Muslim lies, man. I'm going to jump down a little bit more. Broken but now held together in fragments. This is what I was speaking about earlier. It says the stone, which is about 11 inches by 15 inches in size, was damaged over the years and broken up into several pieces. So it is now held together inside a silver frame. Pilgrims may kiss or lightly touch it today. Yeah, so they let pilgrims and all these dirty, nasty pilgrims are kissing and touching on the same stone, and they shut down, access to that stone. Why? Because of the coronavirus. But if it was such a holy stone, then that black stone would just get darker and it will absorb all the sins and the demons and the coronavirus that's sickening the people. But they know, like I said, they know it's a lie, man. And in order to keep a lie going, you have to know the truth. So the original, the Arab leaders, like it says, the Arab caretakers, don't want this lie to be brought out because it's going to expose them. But at the end of the day, we have enough evidence through the Urim and the Thummim and through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai to search these things out. What the scripture says, search the scriptures, for in them you have eternal life. And the scriptures tell us enough to see that the Arab religion is bullshit, man. Galatians 4 and let's see. Salakia. Galatians 6 and 14. Yep. This is 3 and 15. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant. Yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or addeth thereto. Now to Abraham and his seed, whereas the promises made, he saith not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Yahweh Shah. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed, and what's that seed? It is, the seeds aren't many. The one seed is Isaac, man. That's why it says, in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And I want to get that, if I'm not mistaken, it's 4. Bear with me. That's it. Yep, that's 4 and 26. I said 16. Salakia. Galatians 4 and 22. For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, which is true. He had 2 sons. The one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. If I'm not mistaken, Abraham had those are the 2 main sons. Let me actually, how many sons? Children. Yep. To put it in context, Abraham actually had 8 children in total. Isaac, Ishmael, Jokshan, Midian, son of Abraham, Medan, son of Abraham, Ishbak, Zimron. So, I didn't want to go off and say that because he had concubines also that he had women by. It says, after the death of Sarah, Abraham took another wife, a concubine named Keturah, by whom he had 6 sons, Zimron, Jokshan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Yeah, but the main 2 was Abraham and Ishmael. Yeah. And we can say that plain as day. Yeah, we agree that Ishmael was one of the chief sons of Abraham, but his main son was Isaac. So it says, for it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. Who was the one that was the bondmaid? Hagar. She was the one that was serving serving Sarah, Hagar the Egyptian. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise. So the promise was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ishmael was just a son of pleasure, man. That's why Abraham, when after Sarah whooped Hagar's ass, Abraham gave her little victuals to make it to her destination and kicked her ass out, man. Saying it, I want to say it as plain as day because that's what happened. But it says, which things are an allegory. For these are the 2 covenants, the one from Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Hagar. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children. See? So everything answers to the children of Israel. Everything is subject. All sons, that come from the other nations answer to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the mother of us all, as it is written in 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free. So it's above Hagar. It's above Ishmael. Israel stands above all nations, and that's all throughout the Bible. But it says, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. For it is written, rejoice, thou barren that bearest not. And who is that which was barren that bared not? Sarah. Breakest forth and cry, thou that travailest not, for the desolate hath many more children than she which hath a husband. All right. Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise. So these lying ass Arabs talking about Ishmael was a child of promise. No, he wasn't. The Isaac was a child of promise. But as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit, even so is now. Nevertheless, what saith the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with the son of the free woman. Yeah, Ishmael, which the Arabs come out of, you know, and the religion of Islam it springs out of, is not the heir to the throne. That's why the scripture says none shall want to mate. You can't merge the Quran with the Bible. It's the holy Bible. The word holy means separate. So then, brethren, we are not children of the bondwoman, but of the free. All right, it's about the children of the free, which is Isaac. Out of Isaac shall thy seed be called. Isaac was the chosen child of the promise. Like I said before, Isaac sprang to Jacob. Jacob had the 12 tribes, the 12 patriarchs, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. That was the only chosen, no other. You know, so I want to end by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shema Kakodash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Akim. Lord willing, I may do a second part edition, going more into Khadijah and maybe Aisha. You know, further elaborating, you know, through the Spirit. I may, you know, see how the Spirit rolls. But all right, Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shema Kakodash Barakatah. Shalom Akim.